Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending today's rulemaking hearing regarding state board rules governing educator licensure, employment standards, occupational educator scholarship. Nope, that is the wrong one. Forgive me. Just 1 second, everybody. Apologies, everyone. We will get started in just one moment.
Not the right script.
It's the opening.
That's the
Mhm.
first.
Okay. All right. So again, everyone, welcome to our rulemaking hearing this morning. And we are here today on the Education Savings Account Rule, Interscholastic Athletics Rule, State Enrollment and Attendance Guidelines, and Academic Program Requirements Rule. My name is P. Danielle Nellis. I am the Deputy General Counsel for the State Board of Education and their designated representative. I'll be presiding at today's meeting. Today is July 25th, 2024, and it is 10:02 a.m. Information on how to join this rulemaking hearing, both in person and electronically, was included in the rulemaking hearing notice filed with the Secretary of State's office and posted to the State Board's website. Since this hearing is being held both electronically and in person, I want to remind all attendees who are joining online to please keep yourself muted unless asked to unmute. This will minimize any audio feedback and ensure that speakers can be heard. Any attempts to if you're attending in person, I'll also ask that you remain quiet so that the online attendees can hear and be heard. Any attempts to disrupt the hearing will result in removal from the hearing, either electronically or in person. A redline version of the rules under consideration at this hearing are available both in person and on the State Board's website under the link for today's meeting. This hearing is also being recorded and will be provided to State Board members for their review. Due to technical difficulties, all videos will remain off during this hearing for those who are participating online. Moving into the rules that are subject of this hearing, this rulemaking hearing is the opportunity for the State Board of Education to gather public feedback regarding the following rules. Education Savings Account Rule 0520-01-16-0.02, 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, and 0.11. The repeal of the Interscholastic Athletics Rule 0520-01-02-0.08, repeal of the Preface Rule 0520-01-01, State Enrollment and Attendance Guidelines 0520-01-02-0.17, and Academic Program Requirements 0520-01-03-0.03. I will begin with a summary of each proposed rule revision. The first item is Education Savings Account Rule 0520, or Rules 0520-01-16-0.02, 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, and 0.11. The rules chapter outlines the student eligibility requirements and participation requirements of the ESA program. First, this item revises a reference to criminal background checks, cross-reference and to align to the existing approval requirements for Category 1, 2, and 3 non-public schools. Next, this item clarifies requirements for financial verification for ESA participation. This item also removes references to expense reports throughout the rule to align with how participating families currently access funds. Lastly, this item removes the requirement that the Department of Education provide notice of an appeal decision via first-class USPS mail. The department will continue to provide notice of appeal decisions electronically. The next item is the repeal of the Interscholastic Athletics Rule 0520-01-02-.08. This rule is unnecessary and has not been updated since 1996. The board has no current authority in law to make rules governing the substance of this rule. Such authority rests within the powers of the local board of education and/or individual public schools who may choose to affiliate with an athletic association pursuant to state law as outlined in Tennessee Code Annotated Sections 49.2, 132, 49.2, 136, and 49.6, 3050. Additionally, restrictions on when students can be dismissed for the purpose of athletic practices or games are already set forth in Tennessee Code Annotated 49.6.1002, making this rule unnecessary. The next item is Preface Rule 0520-01-01. This item proposes the repeal of that rule, which is unnecessary as it merely restates requirements set forth in state law and the state constitution. Additionally, Rule 0520-01-01-.02 mission is unnecessary as the state board's mission and master plan for education in Tennessee are instead contained in the board's master plan that is developed and revised every 3 years by the board pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated Section 49.1302A3. Both rules have not been updated since 1984 and 1986, respectively. The next item is State Enrollment and Attendance Guidelines Rule 0520-01-02.17. This rule chapter outlines a number of requirements for school attendance in Tennessee. Revisions move language from State Board Attendance Policy 4.100 into the rule, allowing for Policy 4.100 to be repealed. Additional revisions include authorizing the student member of the state board to be counted as present for the time spent in the performance of official duties as a member of the state board, clarifying that students cannot be counted as present for post-secondary school visits that occur during the TCAP testing window, clarifying that students who receive an excused absence or who are counted as present shall be allowed the opportunity to make up all missed work, allowing schools to post the LEA's attendance policy on the local Board of Education's website instead of at each school, adding additional language from the law regarding the requirements for LEA attendance policies, and finally clarifying that LEAs who authorize charter schools must ensure that charter schools have adopted an attendance policy in compliance with this rule or that the charter school follows the LEA's attendance policy. The last item is Academic Program Requirements Rule 0520-01-03-.03. This rule chapter sets requirements for academic programming, including instructional requirements and grading systems for high school students to ensure they are prepared for success in post-secondary and career. Following feedback from multiple stakeholders, this item proposes to reduce the EOC exam percentage weight given to a student's final grade to between 5 and 15%, beginning with courses taken in fall of 2024. This reduction maintains compliance with law, which requires that EOCs comprise a percentage of students' final grades. It continues to allow local boards the flexibility to determine what is appropriate for their individual context, while recognizing that students complete a significant amount of coursework that comprises the grade they receive for the course, in addition to the summative EOC assessment. Excuse me. With those brief explanations, I will now move into public comments regarding these rules. Please note that rulemaking hearings are an opportunity for the state board to collect feedback on the proposed rule language to inform potential revisions and is not a question and answer session. During the public comment portion of this hearing, please state your name and organizational affiliation, if any, before making your comment. Each person who wishes to speak will be allotted 3 minutes. Is there anybody in person who would like to make a public comment? All right. No one in person who would like to make a comment. Since this meeting is also taking place electronically, in just a moment, I will ask any electronic attendees who wish to be recognized to provide a public comment to put in the chat their name and their affiliation. Once we have collected all names, I will call on attendees by name one by one to make their statement. You will be muted until it is time for you to speak and your name is called. Is there anyone who would like to speak on any of these rules? Please type your name and organizational affiliation in the chat. Again, if anyone would like to speak on these rules, please type your name and organizational affiliation in the chat. Seeing no comments or names of people who would like to be recognized, I would make a few reminders before we adjourn. First, you may submit additional written comments regarding these rules for consideration to me using the contact information noted on the agenda and on our website that is on the screen. If joining by phone, my email address is danielle.nellis@tn.gov. These comments must be received by Monday, July 29th at 9 a.m. Central Time to ensure consideration. Please send comments via email as regular mail moves slowly and may not arrive to our office on time. It is anticipated that the board will vote on final reading of these rules at its quarterly meeting on August 16th, 2024. Specific details about that meeting agenda and how to attend or watch the meeting online will be posted on the State Board's website under the meetings page. If the board approves these rules on final reading, they will be sent to the Attorney General's office for approval, be published with the Secretary of State for 90 days, and go before the Joint Government Operations Committee of the Tennessee House and Senate. The State Board of Education appreciates everyone who took the time out of their day to attend today's hearing. And with no further business on the agenda, this hearing is adjourned. Thank you.